But this is what John Calvin taught. This is what the leading Calvinists teach, is that God has predestined some to life, some to death, some to eternal life and to love Him. He has predetermined that they will love and follow Him, and He has predetermined the rest to be born in a condition they can't want to love Him and will die in that condition and suffer for eternity for ultimately something they have no control over.
Well, how do you want to love someone? You know, how do you choose to want to love someone? That doesn't make any sense.
A condition they were born into, and you can see why so many people would have a problem with that.
See, I hope that that's clear. You can't choose what you love. You just love things, and then you act based on the love that you find yourself with, right? So that's it. Try to change what you love right now. I know nobody in the chat would disagree with that, but that's more to Leighton, I guess, and other provisionists and other semi-Pelagian types in general. I would love it for somebody to explain it once and for all. Finish the last piece of the puzzle. How do you actually do these things?
That it really is difficult to swallow that pill. Even Calvin himself calls the doctrine of reprobation a dreadful decree, because it is dreadful. John Piper talks about weeping for 3 days when he first learned these doctrines, because he really did believe that this is what Romans 9 and Ephesians 1 and some other key texts were teaching, and therefore he felt like he had to be true to the text. So he has good motivations, but I think he's just misinterpreted those texts to come to Calvinism. And you can see why it would lead you to weep. And it's not real good news. It may be good news for the few who are chosen, but in general, as a whole, it's not real good news to understand this idea that God has ultimately preordained or predestined for the mass of humanity to spend eternity separated from Him, so as to display His glory through His display of wrath.
Okay, I mean, I guess we have to do it again. I mean, we do it every day. We do it every day. If that's true, what shall we say? Is there unrighteousness with God? Certainly not. For He says to Moses, I will have mercy on whomever I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whomever I will have compassion. So then it is not of him who wills, nor of him who runs, but of God who shows mercy. I mean, what more do you need than this vessels of wrath prepared beforehand for destruction bit over here? I don't know. You see, before I ever knew that this conversation was taking place, like, I just knew somewhere deep down that what I was being taught wasn't true at the whole Arminian Pentecostal deal. But I was dead in my sins, right? So it's not like I could then take the Bible back to them at the church of Pentecostal place and be like, actually, hey there, Pentecostal people, this is what the Bible really says, so you should conform to that. Excuse me. Because someone who's dead in their sins can't discern these spiritual things, right? They're discerned by the Spirit. They're not discerned by the flesh. So that was my problem. But I never even knew the conversation was taking place. God totally, absolutely, 100% hid this conversation from me for 35 years. No clue it was even happening until one day I heard it. And I immediately believed it. The first time I ever heard of this kind of theology. Immediately. It was like it was like a eureka moment. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, man. I think I did yell out eureka.